The two most popular players on the Futbin and Foot.gg trending pages are Hugo Ekitike and Mr. Marmoush. As someone who has packed both of these players, today I'm going to let you know if it's worth spending the coins on Marmoush or if it's more value for coins to stick with Ekitike. For these games, I played Marmoush in false 9 attack. It's his only proficiency in striker, and Ekitike as a target forward. But Ekitike can also play false 9 like Marmoush, so they are a good comparison. So for these first two games, both were on a basic chemistry style, and they linked up very nicely, but unfortunately the keeper movement meant Ekitike couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But he rectified it pretty quickly with some good dribbling, and this time, even with the keeper movement, he was able to put it top bins. Right after that, he then ran down the wing and put it inside to Shumeni to give him an assist. And then Marmoush, it was time for him on the ball, but unfortunately, he just didn't have the pace or the control on the ball to exploit that space left by the defender. He then had another go of it and played an absolutely beautiful ball into Ekitike, who slotted it away at the near post. And then following that, Marmoush with a low driven into the bottom corner, resulting in my opponent forfeiting the game. Overall, from that first game, I definitely would have said Ekitike was the more impactful player, and he carried that over to the start of the second game very strongly. But then from here, it was the Marmoush show. Gets the ball here, very nice finesse shot. You can definitely tell there was a lot of whip on that. Here's some good dribbling. We're kind of like around the box. We don't know where to go. We use some technical there to kind of burst past the player. Nice fake shot. And then on the left foot, and it is a 3-star weak foot, mind you, he manages to find the back of the net. Here's some good left stick dribbling here. We're kind of moving the defenders out of the way. There was a shot at the near post there with the keeper movement, but even when the keeper was in the right corner, Marmoush had high enough finishing to get it into the top corner. So after two games on the basic chem style, I kind of had an idea of what chem style these guys needed. The difference between Marmoush and Ekitike on the basic is Ekitike did feel a bit more faster and more powerful. And then Marmoush definitely had more class in the finishing because, as I said, Marmoush has 87 finishing there, which is definitely going to be very useful for the finesse shots. And Ekitike only has 79. Now, finesse shots are quite strong. Finishing is quite consistent. But the difference between that 79 finishing, for example, on Ekitike and the 87 on Marmoush is that you kind of notice the finesse shots going into the top corner a lot more with the higher finishing. And sometimes you can sit the keeper down. So I decided to go for a hawk on Marmoush, because it's going to give him a little bit of a finishing boost, which he doesn't really need, but it's going to give him some pace as well. And then for Ekitike, I decided to give him a finisher just to get that finishing up to Marmoush's level, because I already felt he was strong and powerful enough to keep up with Marmoush pace-wise. So once I applied the chem styles, I would say there was differences in how I felt these players played. Ekitike kind of felt the same overall, except he did get that higher kind of level of finishing. I did notice him getting it into the top corner a little bit more. But I would say as soon as I gave Marmoush the hawk chem style, he did feel like a different player. Because with the basic, at first, I was a bit surprised. I felt like I actually couldn't really use his pace or his dribbling to run at defenders. But I do think the extra little bit of speed and acceleration the hawk gave Marmoush made him a lot more comfortable on the ball. Like this goal, I really like the dribbling in this, because when we get into the box here, look at these little turns. I do a little L1 turn there. We go to the left there. I can't even get my thoughts across because so much happened. We did get a lucky rebound, of course. But there are downsides with both cards. The main one being neither of them have low driven shot. They both have finesse shot and technical on silver. And then Marmoush has dead ball as well as that. And then Ekitike has chip shot. And I don't think the dead ball is going to be much use on Marmoush. His free kick accuracy is only 84. Like, it's not extremely good. You might use it for corner kicks maybe, but I definitely think the chip shot on Ekitike is a lot better, because I actually did use it a few times. And I actually think chip shots are good this year. So before I got Marmoush, I had 6 goals and 4 assists in 6 games with Ekitike. So in the games where they played together, Ekitike got 11 goals and another 4 assists in 6 games, whereas Marmoush over here got 6 games, 8 goals and 8 assists. So I definitely feel like Marmoush was more of a creator. I've actually played more games since then, and Ekitike now has 36 goals and 18 assists in 21 games. Whereas Marmoush only has 21 goals and 12 assists. So Ekitike is actually outperforming Marmoush on both of those metrics. The thing is, I did change tactic since then. So I changed to a tactic something like this. So Marmoush is actually going to be playing on the wing, and I would definitely be more confident in playing Marmoush in his alternate positions in cam or left wing than I would Ekitike in cam. I really don't think he'd have the attributes for it. Look at his 69 passing. But I think if you're purely looking for a striker, I'd say Ekitike is the better option. I think Marmoush would have only been worth the extra coins if he had a 4-star weak foot or like a low driven playstyle as well.